It's that time again, friends, where we grab another fistful of Joes. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name's Rob, and in this episode, that's right, we are grabbing another fistful of Joes. And for those that don't know what that means, let me explain. I keep my G.I. Joe figures in these little tubs. I mean, for years, I've been collecting them, and I put them in these in little baggies with all their accessories and everything. And unfortunately, when you store stuff like that, you kind of lose track of what you have, and you don't really find a lot of opportunities to play with them nowadays. So this show is an excuse for me to reach in, grab a random handful of G.I. Joe figures. We will play with them, look at them, review them. Either way, like I said, it's just a fun excuse for me to play with my toys, which I don't get a chance to do anymore. So without further ado, let's grab a fistful of Joes.
Yo, Joe!
Okay, folks, here we go. I have the bin of Joes right next to me, and let's reach in and see what we get. It being random is a lot of the fun of this, and like I said, just a great excuse for me to look at what I have. Now, these seem to be a little slippery, so we'll start with two here. There's another one. Another one, so that's four. And, the last one is a bonus. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. So, put the bin off to the side to get it out of the way, and let's see what we have. So, let's reach over here, and our first is the AVAC. I always forget his name. I just call him the Firebat Pilot. So, he came packaged with the Firebat, which I have hanging from my ceiling over yonder. Like I said, don't have a lot of room in the laundry room to display everything, so I just have to find areas where I can. And this one is hanging from the ceiling. So here we have his base that he came with, still wrapped. And here's the figure itself. Now, he didn't come with any accessories or armaments, just came with the Firebat itself. Now, this is a figure from when I was a kid, not the 25th anniversary figure, which this is, but the original OG figure that came with the Terror Dome. I always wanted it. I mean, it is an awesomely designed character. Wait a minute. He came with a knife. I'm sorry, it's still in here. I just noticed he has a sheath right here. So he came with a knife. Anyway, always a fan of this figure. I mean, it's just a great design. Great colors. I mean, fits the whole Crimson Guard motif. Love the silver paint applications and the Cobra symbol on his chest. Now, the original one didn't have this long, thin neck, of course. So that kind of throws it off for me. But other than that, this is a great, great figure. And I don't know if you can catch the detail. Let's see how close I can get this. On his belt buckle, that is the original Hasbro house design. Now, I recently read that a lot of the OG characters in G.I. Joe had that on their belt buckle. I can't believe I missed it all these years and just recently read it, like I said. And it seems like they did a great callback to that with this character. Now, it looks like his belt can come off. I don't know why you would want it to. He has a hole in his chest or his waist where the belt goes all the way through to make it very sturdy. Like most 25th anniversary figures, in my opinion, he is kind of frail in some of these joint locations, like the hands and wrists, but his elbows seem to be okay. Kind of has limited mobility because of the detailing of like the bunched up sleeve here. Doesn't really have that on this side, so he has a better bend than this side. So that's kind of interesting. So his knees, great articulation, ankles, spin, and that's the AVAC pilot of the Firebat. Loved the Firebat when I was a kid, loved the pilot, loved the Terror Dome, but there was no way in heck I would ever have gotten that when I was a kid. That is buku bucks, and yeah, something that my family did not have in the budget. So, seal them back up, put them to the side. Next, now, I have him packed with someone else that is a more recent Fortnite figure. And the reason I chose to pack him in here was this Fortnite figure. A couple summers ago, I did a how to turn Fortnite characters into G.I. Joe characters, which was all just by backstory. And I created different backstories. And I made this guy a new Dreadnought character. So that's why he's there. And I think in that episode, I compared him side by side with Torch here. So let's stick the Fortnite character to the side and let's talk about Torch. Now, this is a pretty good rendition of the original figure. You have the blue jeans, you have the vest, great chain details here, great buckles that go across. And here we got the back, Melbourne Maulers MC. So that is a nice touch. Very cool. He has Dreadnought tattoo here on his forearm. And that silver paint application on his belt. I mean, that's one of the things that was eye-catching about the Dreadnoughts were the blue jeans with the silver embellishments. For some reason, that just grabbed my attention as a kid. Now, he looks pretty darn good. They got some different hair molding here. Has his headband, glasses, mutton chops. Looks pretty good. So, here's the Fortnite guns and stuff. I wonder if this would fit on his back while we're here. Kind of does. Sits up pretty high, but this came with the Fortnite character, so that'll go over there. So we have his fuel canister, and it is not removable. So that goes on the back there. And let's see here. Has his blowtorch. And I guess it goes in like so, maybe? Because you have this little lip there. There we go. So he can carry that as a sidearm just with this hose in the way. So where does the hose plug into the backpack? Well, I am totally dumbfounded because this did go to him, even though it sits so high up on the back, because the fuel canister must have came with the Fortnite character, but it looks like it should fit Torch here. Let's see here. Does this fit? Yeah, it does. So, interchangeable? do whatever you want. Like I said, that character makes a great Dreadnought character. I believe I named him Noxious, or that's his Fortnite name. I can't recall. That episode was a long time ago. I can't even remember what I had for dinner tonight. But anyway, his iconic gun with the blade on it, and his stand, and his file card, and with the figure came this redemption certificate for Operation Rescue Doc, which I did get him. He is packed away in another Joe box because he's still in his mailer and everything. We'll bust him out one day and take a look at him. But for now, we're looking at Torch here. So the hand is kind of odd for gripping. There we go. Maybe we should try the other hand. Maybe he is made to double fist it. Have this rifle in one hand and his blowtorch in the other. Let's see how that looks. And I am beside myself with messing that up. No wonder I get thumbs down on these videos. Because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But I have fun, and that's what counts. Don't forget that, guys. Have fun in whatever you do. So, okay. I think there is something to be said about the original rubber hoses. This is just so unwieldy. Let's move it up like this. So it's coming over. But that does not look pleasing. Now that would be an interesting project, to buy a bunch of extra hose and convert these figures over to those hoses. So even this hand has difficulty gripping this. So here this seems to work. So definitely looks like a character you do not want to run into, which really sends the message home about the Dreadnoks. So that's Torch. Pretty cool. So we will put him to the side and move on, because like I said, there's a couple bonus figures in this. And like I said, you'll see what I mean when we get to it. That was kind of a bonus figure, I guess, if you want to talk about the Fortnite figure. But here we go. This is Red Zone from the Steel Brigade versus, what were they? Oh, if I had one, I would remember the name. But this came in a Toys R Us pack. I believe it was 6 figures in total. You had 3 Steel Brigade, and you had 3 of the Cobra. I forget what they were, but they are kind of like toxic troopers to a degree. So he comes with this awesome shotgun. So we will put that in his hand. And then these actually came out before the 25th anniversary. These came out in mid-2000s, right before the 25th anniversary hit the market. So I think a lot of these figures, they tried new mold styles, new ways to build the figures. And one of the defining things about these early ones are like the broad shoulders that they kind of did away with the 25th anniversary. And they don't have movable ankles. The wrists are movable. They have an actual elbow here, which the 25th does not. So there are some similarities, but differences altogether. Here's his file card. And he came with this rad 357 with a holster with a smaller handgun in it. So that was like a new thing that G.I. Joe was unveiling before the 25th anniversary line, were usable holsters and such. As you can see, he has a normal base that he came with and a Steel Brigade helmet. Now, mind you, these are not the Steel Brigades that we grew up with. These are an all-new extreme elite force. You know, he doesn't need sleeves. He's so awesome. So here he is, two-fisting it, ready to take on Cobra. Yeah. I kind of miss the days of just an open hand before they had molded fingers and such for putting their finger on the trigger and things like that, because these get to be a pain in the butt. So there we go. He's two-fisting it, ready to save the day. It's a very nice figure. I mean, these still harken back to that OG style of just everything molded in, the small details. I mean, the added holster is great. I mean, he has the pants that are very similar to the original Steel Brigade, which were Airborne's pants. So they're very similar to that. This ripped up shirt here. And an awesome helmet. I mean, some of the other figures came with bigger weapons and accessories, but this guy looks pretty cool. His specialty is urban assault, so that kind of makes sense. So we will put him to the side. And next is something I always wanted when I was a kid. Jumped on it, the chance of getting this in the 25th anniversary line. I also have this in another version, the Joe vs. Cobra line version. But this one, I mean, this rocks. So you have his backpack here, which has these posts on it. I guess it sits like that, which you can put these ice boots on, in theory. There we go. But it's kind of hard with his hood and this combat webbing to get the backpack to want to stay. Almost fits better like that. So let's put these this way so they don't look awkward sticking up out of the top. And mind you, I don't know if I showed you, but I don't think I did. These fit on his feet for traversing the ice. Now, this is the Snake Eyes from, I think it's issue 2 or 3, where he meets Quinn, Tracker Quinn. So he has the weasel skull necklace that he got from Quinn. And he has satchel with either detonation charges or clips for his Uzi, however you want to view it. But look at this detail. I mean, his jacket looks great. Nice parka. The hood down. Let's take his backpack off, take a look at it. His hood down. He has his combat webbing, which comes off. Now the necklace is kind of threaded through the hood to around his head. So you cannot remove that. I think. I'm not going to try. You might be able to, but I don't want to bust it. But you had the classic commando glasses. He has big, thick gloves on to protect him from the cold. There we go. There's the joint. So this satchel's actually attached to the whole webbing in its entirety. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that was separate there for a second. Like I said, a lot of these figures I never got a chance to play with. I had them in their cards. They were mint on card. And then when my wife and I moved into this house when we got married, it was like, you can't keep all those. So either sell them or find a better way to store them so they don't take up so much room. And I didn't want to sell them, so I was left with taking them all out of their cards. Do I regret it? Not 1 second. I still have the cards saved with the file card and the cool artwork. And I now have the figures to play with. But when I was taking them out of the cards and bagging them up, I never really got a chance to play with them. I was kind of in a hurry because we were getting ready to move in together in this house. So here is his katana, the Rakasashi clan symbol on it. Doesn't want to hold his Uzi straight. There we go. If only the backpack came with somewhere to stick the sword. Because the sword was not introduced yet. The ninja aspect of Snake Eyes was not introduced yet when this outfit came about. But man, I love this figure. That was the one thing. I mean, I loved the 25th anniversary line. I loved an opportunity to get new G.I. Joe figures in the store every week. It seemed like more would appear on the shelves, and I would buy them all. And just one of the things that was fantastic about them is things like this that you saw in the comic. And the actual packaging would say, as seen in the comic, on the top of it. So very awesome. So, and here we go. Episode is so long already. I apologize, and we will speed through this. But here are 3 figures that came packaged together. Looks like all their gear is a little mixed up. And we have the original Hawk, Duke, and I believe Grunt. So they all had their file cards, and they came in these cylindrical packaging. Yep, Grunt, Duke, and Hawk. They came in these like cylindrical 3-packs. And they had a couple of them, and I got a couple of them. There were some I think I actually missed out on, and here are the stands, of course. Duke, G.I. Joe Hawk, and Grunt. So he still has the rubber band of how he was displayed in his tube. And this is Grunt. Now he has an M16 with a M203 underneath. Let's get this rubber band off. Yeah. But look at that hand. See, that's one of the things that I felt like. I'm gonna clear that up. Like some of the figures where the rubber bands were, there are definite lines and like disfigurements because of it. Like they just packaged it up while it was still wet or something. And he's got a real funky grip on there. But let's take a look at the character itself. Really weird paint application error here at the eye. Has some 5 o'clock shadow, which is pretty cool. Combat webbing, which has some great detailing. Came with a knife. Goes into this sheath. Came with 2 knives, it looks like. A pistol, 2 Uzis, and helmets. So he already has a pistol here in the holster. Excuse me. And one of these helmets is surely his. So could they have done better with this figure? Of course they could have, but it's still so awesome. Now the green that they used does not match the original 82 green, but pretty cool nonetheless. And I mean, we got the detailing of the collar like those figures had. Here we have flag symbol. Looks like he has a canteen, maybe grenade, but a pretty good interpretation of the original 82 Grunt. Not perfect, but pretty darn cool. So put him to the side. And now Hawk. Now Hawk comes with the one with the visor, and of course has like the general eagle there. So there he is with his helmet. He comes with this rubber band. He only has this like sash type of webbing. Grenade, pouch. Good detailing. Oh, look at that. Rubber band caught up in his joint. Get that out of here. And his joint, there we go. Sometimes I get scared of moving them. Don't want to break them. So knife in the sheath. Comes with the patented G.I. Joe rifle. Extra Uzis, like I said. Man, I always have trouble with these. There we go. Not a perfect fit. Because look at that. Look how you would hold it. It's not cool. Oh, come on, dude. Anyway, I'm already taking up too much time. Off to the side with you. His helmet, his gun. So now we have, well, I guess this pistol is his as well. So let's give him the pistol. Maybe that'll be better. A little bit better. So pistol. Helmet, which doesn't want to stay on that great. And his rifle. Oh, and more of that rubber banding in the joints. So here we go with Duke. And I assume this is like a play on the 82 version. I mean, making him like an 82 version with a more light green shirt, not his usual tan. Helmet, which doesn't want to fit that great. Okay, so you don't need it. He comes with the patented G.I. Joe rifle. Has a pistol in the holster here. Let's give him the smaller, like Beretta looking pistol in here. And give Hawk the big one like his figure came with back in the day. Yeah, that's much better. And we have an extra knife. He does not have a sheath for the knife well, no, we don't have an extra knife. I take that back. we have the knives in their homes, but we have these extra Uzis in his helmet. And there we go. Like I said, a little bonus because these came in a 3-pack and I have them all together in one bag. And I have kept you long enough. So, back to me. Okay, folks, back to me. What a great cross-section of different characters and a couple different designs. Like I said, this was a bonus episode because we actually pulled a 3-pack, and that's how I stored them, was how they were purchased. And like I said, those, I forget what they were called, but you got 3 tubes with a cool little cardboard sleeve around them with the characters in the tubes. I mean, that's one I kind of wish I didn't unpack because they'd probably display pretty nice. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry for the extreme length of this episode, but we had a lot to look at and play with. So, thanks for coming along and playing with me. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this, or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad, and stay dorky!